Welcome everybody, I'm 6am Comics, and this is reviewing my kids' comics. I had recently gotten a handful of requests to put up a poll and let my incredibly humble amount of followers determine which comic I'd review next. So that's what I did. I put up a poll this week and gave all of you lovely subscribers the choice between Blue Ghost number 3, Elemental Man number 1, Super Nolan 3.5, Hands Up, and Dragonfly. And to no surprise, y'all picked Super Nolan 3.5, Hands Up. In retrospect, it probably wasn't even fair to have that one on the list. But whatever, hey, the people have spoken. And let's do it. Let's go ahead and review Super Nolan 3.5, Hands Up. Let's get at it. Beginning with the overall presentation, this 7-page floppy is drawn in black and white using a pen and features the classic Worldwide Comics triple staple binding. Technically an epilogue to the Super Nolan 3 graphic novel, the plot begins following an unspecified time gap where it's implied that following his defeat at the hands of Super Nolan, the Molder of Doom resurfaced and, per usual, found himself behind bars yet again, and in typical Molder fashion, escaped. Again. While not a 100-page graphic novel like its predecessors, it carries the same cartoonish charm and action-heavy style the series has come to be known for. In addition, it was the first in a series of short-form Super Nolan floppies, which collectively amount to about 100 pages, give or take. You could almost make yourself a nice trade paperback out of all these issues and call it Super Nolan 4, if one were to be so bold. Not that we don't already have a Super Nolan 4 on the way. Right, Nolan? Right, Nolan? Anyway, enough setup. Let's give this floppy a read. We find our hero peering over a small desk with a comic on it, until Frank walks in the room. His face is troubled. Super Nolan flies over to Frank. "'Smatter, Frank?"
Follow Frank, or me. Sorry, I have bad grammar when I'm worried. It's the Molder of Doom. He's been vowing revenge with you while he was in jail.
What do you mean, was in jail?
Nothing. He just escaped.
This is a job for... Nolan presses the giant N on his shirt as it makes a beep. His cape flies out from his back. His suit begins to form around his body, similar to Iron Man's nanotechnology from Infinity War. Super Nolan! Woo! Got a few upgrades.
Wait! And this motorcycle! Just don't crash this one.
For those unaware, this is a reference to Super Nolan's bike from Super Nolan 2, which he crashed for no reason. Shut up! Super Nolan grabs his helmet, puts it on, and starts up the bike, flipping his mask over his helmet.
Why'd you put your mask over your helmet?
You're too stupid to understand. Let me dumb it down to your language.
Duh! Hey!
Super Nolan proceeds to crash the motorcycle almost immediately.
I told you not to crash it!
Meanwhile, on the other side of town, a mysterious yellow diamond appears on the side of the road. Okay, not really that mysterious, it's the Molder. As a man spots the diamond, he proceeds to pick it up, saying,
"I'll put this diamond in my jewelry shop."
That night, Molder in his diamond form is now on display in the now closed jewelry shop. Dang, $100 million? Dude should just sell himself and get paid. With the shop closed for the evening, Molder morphs back into himself and begins snatching up all the diamonds and jewelry in the store. That is until... Stop right there! Super Nolan arrives on the scene. Put your hands on your head.
Oh, really? Which ones?
In all his shape-shifting glory, the Molder begins to form hundreds of arms and prepares to battle Super Nolan and his measly 2 arms. With as many hands, the Molder begins slapping the face of his opponent. That is until our hero, fed up with the onslaught of slaps, grabs each one of Molder's arms and rips them off. Violent, he begins twirling the arms around with extreme velocity. With the arms spinning at maximum speed, Super Nolan slams them into the face of the Molder with such force that our shape-shifting antagonist poofs out of existence with a resounding KO! Is that what happens when he's KO'd? Victorious, Super Nolan flies off through the city. Nice perspective. Now, where was I with my trash talking with Frank? The end. I have to say, I enjoy the short-form storytelling for our beloved Orange Defender. No overarching plots, no world-ending stakes, just a simple setup, some humorous banter between Nolan and Frank, and a quick showdown between old foes. And yet, even with the minimal page count, we gain a decent amount of lore and world building. For instance, without any exposition or comics in between this issue and the conclusion of Super Nolan 3, we're able to infer that the Mulder re-emerged and continued his usual crime spree following his defeat at the hands of Super Nolan. It's also implied that some kind of altercation took place following his re-emergence to place him back in prison. In addition to this, the final page of Super Nolan 3 left Frank's fate ambiguous, with Super Nolan flying off to make sure Frank is okay following the Mulder's assault on his headquarters. With the intro of this issue, we see that Frank is just fine and already back in his lab making modifications to both Super Nolan's suit as well as the motorcycle. All of that information from just 2 pages. It's truly a testament to Nolan's maturing ability as a storyteller. Besides all of this, we learn a little more about the Mulder of Doom, specifically the odd occurrence at the end of Super Nolan 3 when, following his violent defeat, he seemingly poofed out of existence. The same event takes place at the end of this issue, causing Super Nolan to break the fourth wall and ask the reader if this is what happens to the Mulder when he's knocked out. The strange poof appears to be a defense mechanism of the Mulder. It can actually be traced back to his first appearance in Black Widow number 1. After the cops arrived to save Black Widow from the pummeling he was receiving, Mulder evaporated into a mist and floated into the air. We see the aftermath of this mechanic in the following issue when Mulder is struggling to piece himself back together after having dispersed his many particles into the air. Evidently, it's incredibly taxing on this villain's body, which explains why there's always a long period of absence before his re-emergence to wreak havoc. But enough about the Mulder. Let's talk about Super Nolan. When we were first introduced to this character all the way back in the now infamous Super Nolan 1, he was just a boy figuring out this bizarre gift bestowed upon him from the skies. He was clumsy, inexperienced, a little cocky, and he definitely rushed into the hero business before considering the consequences. Cut to his latest adventures, and what we now see is a much more polished and appropriately confident man of the people. No longer requiring 100 pages to defeat a single enemy, but rather taking down massive threats like the Mulder of Doom in only a couple of panels, tops. I suspect that as we move forward in the series, we'll quickly see that Super Nolan is no longer the new kid on the block, but rather the standard that all worldwide heroes should strive to be. The OG. And there you have it. Super Nolan 3.5, hands up. An amusing little epilogue to the Super Nolan 3. And the first in a long series of Super Nolan floppies, which to this day have a numbering system that just makes absolutely no sense at all. And it probably never will. But hey, who are we to question genius? With that, I'm going to go ahead and give Super Nolan 3.5 a rating of 2 hands up. I'd give more, but I'm just a man. And I regret that I have but 2 hands to give for my son's comics. Sub it, like it, share it, I'm out.